Welcome to the Knuckleheads of Liberty.
Court has, cut the EPA's ability to be able to do some of these, power plant regulations and such that have to do with greenhouse gases and such. So this is, potentially huge blow to EPA and executive authority to push through some of these, green new looking deal type of things. But what do you guys think about this? Because I mean, this potentially has some earth-shattering stuff. I actually remember when, what was it, 15, 20 years ago, when the Supreme Court came down and said that the EPA could regulate CO2.
Yes,
So
they did.
that
Yes,
was a huge issue. So, anyways,
yes.
what do you guys think about this? This is probably the most monumental thing since that, I would think. So,
Tim,
Well,
I
I'm
didn't go.
glad to see. I'm glad to see these these bureaucracies, these three-letter bureaucracies being confronted by the harsh reality of the Constitution. Oh my gosh, you've got some limitation on your power
Yes,
after all. Uh, uh, oh, and your butt hurt about that, and oh, the sky is falling now, and we're all going to die because your three-letter uh, institution, your bureaucracy cannot do whatever they want without any kind of legislative process whatsoever. Nothing to vote on. Where's the people's chance to submit their support or their lack of support on these issues, and where's it debated on the floor? Nowhere. It's just a bunch of a very small, it's just top down central planning. And so I love it when top down central planning gets pushback from the Supreme Court and is put into their place. And okay, no, you can't do that. You can't do this. You can't do that. And so you got to, you guys on the left, if you want to completely kill our standard of living. If you want to go back to the dark ages, you want to ride a horse and a bicycle. First of all, lead from the front and sell your car. Number one, that's the first thing you need to do. But number two is that you need to put these issues up to the table in the legislature, and you need to debate it and go from there and see if it'll pass. Instead of just relying on these top-down central planners that you love, by the way.
yes.
You love them all, and the fewer, the better, and the higher up, the better for you. I mean, you would love it if the whole country was run. Of course, it'd have to be a Democrat monarch that would just write laws willy and nilly. And of course, you'd love that, long as it was going to make you ride a bicycle and turn in your air conditioner. No longer going to have air conditioning in the summer, Sacramento residents. Sorry, that's what you want. That's what you need to have your monarch order all of us to do, because that's how you think. There you are.
You know, you know, as the federal government, well, I mean, this is true at the state government level too. But as the federal government have grown larger, too often these bureaucrats, without clear statutory authorization, they have made rules and regulations that is affecting our lives. This particular ruling about the CO2 emissions, this particular ruling have far-reaching consequences beyond just this particular situation. Because the bureaucracies throughout the United States, whether the state government or the federal government, they have been making rules. They have been using some vague language. Well, Congress nowadays, and this is the fault of Congress too, they have been using these wordings that are vague and it could be interpreted this way or that way. But the agencies, the bureaucratic agencies, have been using this vague language to take authority upon themselves to pass rules and regulations that affect our lives without having clear mandates from Congress. And this is where it should be. This is where the rubber in the road should be. is that they're supposed to have clear authority from Congress before they pass these rules and regulations. And this is what the Supreme Court found faulty in this particular situation. They did not have clear statutory authorization to pass the rules that they're about to issue. So this thing will go beyond this particular case because there are many situations where the bureaucratic agencies are doing exactly what the EPA was trying to do in this particular case, which is to issue rules and regulations without clear mandates from Congress. So I am glad about this ruling, and I hope this is a turning of the tide where we could regain some of our liberties from these people who are not elected by me or any one of you guys. They are not elected, but they think they could rule our lives.
And even if they were elected, and elected to be our rulers, that's not how we work.
Exactly.
We don't. It doesn't make it any better whether they're appointed by some other elected representative or they are elected by the people to rule over us. I mean, either way, in my opinion, doesn't matter. And I know probably Leon's too. He's just
Sure.
bringing that up. That's also true. But yeah, maybe one of these days we'll get to the Federal Reserve.
Yes.
In all these things, the devil's sort of in the details, because when Congress or legislature passes a law, if those words aren't very precise, then the executive agency may have a lot of leeway, or have
Right.
been given a lot of leeway in the past to do a lot
Yes.
of things, and it's supposed to be pretty straight and narrow, I guess. So I mean, the question is, when they start interpreting too much, I guess, then it's essentially the legislature ceding their power to the executive.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, always and forever.